Good afternoon, good evening, good Zinta, good y'all, whatever it may be where you are. I'm Not Sports Cards. Hope you're doing well. Remember to like and subscribe. Got a nice little channel here. The more subscribers we get, the more likes, more comments we get, the more we like to do videos. Today, we're going to go back to something I used to do all the time, making moves in non-sports cards. This is where I go through what I've been buying. Maybe I'll talk about a little bit about what I've been selling. Now that I took kind of a break from buying for a while, which I'll show you in a few seconds, but I'm going to go through the cards that I got here. Mainly, I buy 90% of what I get on eBay. I'll talk a little bit about maybe what I picked up on ComC, and maybe I did a few private deals, two small private deals. One which I've done a video about before, but let's go ahead and let's dig in. I wish I knew how to put my music on. The old days, I would just kick in with the music, but let's just get rid of this. Oh, by the way, I'm launching a website, NotSportsCards.com. I'm using it as kind of a playground for people in non-sports cards to go to. Right now, I'm just getting started doing things with different sets and stuff. You can see all the YouTube videos there, and I even list some of the stuff that you can find in my eBay store. So I'm not really looking for people to necessarily buy. It's just a way to see kind of what I'm selling and whatever. And then we also do blogs and stuff. We have the Council Dorks rookie set. But anyway, let's just go over to my eBay account, and do we want to do? I guess we'll do latest to earliest. But before we do that, I just want to show kind of something here. Zip down. Oh wow! All right, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it like that because you can't do it that way. Meaning, like I was on my phone, you can see all the stuff all at once. Let me take myself down to smaller size. You don't need to see me that big. Not that handsome these days. No, but so somewhere around May, I stopped buying cards. And I'd been through, I've talked about this a little bit before, where I just kind of had like a crisis of confidence in collecting. Say that 3 times fast. Where a few cards came up for sale and a few things I missed kind of made me reassess what I was buying, why I was buying it, and it kind of left me bereft of things to collect. And then, I don't know, a couple months ago, I was watching the show Andor, and I was like, I love this show. I want to collect everything I can about that, and there's reasons for that. And then that kind of ignited my collecting again. I think a lot of people go through a bit of a burnout from collecting. So again, I'm not trying to make this about that. I'm just going to show you what I bought and what kind of what I've been buying. So I can say for the, I will go one by one. So this here is, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more over here. Let's see. Maybe not. All right, that'll do us more justice. You'll be able to see the cards better. So, I'm a big fan of collecting character cards. I prefer character cards over scene cards. This stems from my early childhood trauma of collecting baseball cards and getting rookie cards, and I still to this day like rookie cards. This here, however, is not a rookie card. This is Book of Boba Fett. So it came out of a box of a TV show. And this is a Grogu to 99, which I bought for $16, which I think was an amazing deal. This is the second one of these I bought. The first one I paid more than double. Grogu has, his character cards in Mandalorian Season 1, Mandalorian Season 2. The only difference in Book of Boba Fett is this the first one that says Grogu. I think I even have this one open here. It's a cool, I like, of all the parallels, I actually like visually the red the most. So grab that one. I thought that was a great deal. Up next, all right, I'm gonna have to open this. So I don't know if you're a fan of the show or you've watched it before. This is one of my favorite cards, kind of period. So this is the 2014 Upper Deck Captain America Winter Soldier. This is the Black Widow character card out of 99. I'm a fan of Scarlett Johansson's, but the way I kind of theorize my collecting is I look at the biggest IP, and try to pick out the best cards. And the MCU obviously was huge IP, and early on in the MCU, At first, the Iron Man was owned by Rittenhouse. They didn't do serialized cards. Then Upper Deck, in their first three sets, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, didn't do serialized cards. Even Avengers, they didn't. So that would be 4. This is the first set that has serialized cards, and these are so hard to find. And there's a story that dates back to the pandemic where I had a chance to buy one of these, and I didn't, and it like haunted me for years. This is the third one I own. I actually got it at an amazing price, $67.50. These usually sell for is a questionable term. The other two I own, one I paid $175 for, and the other I bought out of a set that was 95% complete, and I paid about the same for that. So these are, a couple $100 cards. They're not things, I put one up for sale because now I have 3, but they're not things you can really find. There is a blue parallel of these. That is one of the cards that is still on my list of something that I would like to get, but just an awesome card. A lot of what I'm buying, I'm willing to sell these days. Like, I'm consolidating my collection. So, but there are certain cards that I love. Like this one, I love. They're also extremely hard to grade. These peel on the back. They have surface issues. So trying to get a high-end copy of this is hard. I've already gotten this home. I've looked at it. I think it's an 8, which is actually pretty good. So we'll see. We'll send it off to PSA. What happened in the same auction? This is Age of Ultron. So this is a year later. This is just a Captain America. I love combined shipping. This card would have been, for anybody not buying something else from us, this card was like whatever, $1.25 without taxes, but you would have to pay $5 to ship it. It's a cool image. I like to buy vertical images. This is also the Omega. It's $199 out of $199. That's the real reason I bought this card. I think I have it in other, in probably a different number variations. All right, so something else that I started doing over the last month or so is starting to buy 1977 Topps Star Wars again. Now, I've long been a collector of this, and I actually looked. I had not bought a PSA Topps 77 Star Wars card, I think, in a year and a half on eBay. Maybe one. I bought some O-Pee-Chees, I bought some UKs, I bought some Mexicans. I bought some different ones over time. But in just the regular old Topps, I had actually sold a ton of what I had. And I see the market creeping up. And, there are certain cards that, let's see, open Lincoln, that I'm starting to buy. So I grabbed this. See, $50. This is a PSA 9. This is Series 3, one of the easier ones. It's great, but it's a great image. I don't, like I said, I prefer the portrait images, but this is Leia and Luke classic PSA 9. I love that you can see the PSA data. Not a super hard 9, but they're obviously fewer. There are only 10 10s, so there's not a million 10s. And I got it for $50. These days, $25 a graded card, and I have been looking at some of my 77 Raws, and boy are they hard to get a high grade. So happy to pick that up. That, to me, that's a card that, should be in the at least $80 to $90 range. And that's right now. So the only thing against it is an old label. I've been, kind of looking to get rid of some of the old labels. That's just because. Saul Goodman, Breaking Bad, Blue Sky, Season 1. So I love collecting pop culture cards. Breaking Bad has been part of pop culture. It was for, long over 10 years between Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. This was an insert from Season 1, PSA 10. Bought it for $51. Again, these are type of cards where I love them. I think they're cool. They go in my collection. I do list them and be like, hey, if somebody wants to buy them, great. If they don't, I'm happy to keep them. But yeah, it's Saul Goodman for $50 and a PSA 10 in the Blue Sky, which is really the blue ice, in the idea of the blue meth they were cooking. Bought a Haley Atwell. So one of the things that I've noticed recently is that For years I was buying rookie cards, first appearance cards of major characters in different movies and TV shows. And what I've noticed recently, because I haven't been looking for them, like I had mentioned that I have not been buying as much, so therefore, I just haven't been, I don't know, save searches and stuff. So I started poking around to see what, can you buy, Steve Rogers? Can you buy Thor's? Can you buy whatever? Because I have a bunch of them, and some of this was in research to send some cards out to ComC. And I was like, hey, I don't want to send cards to ComC that just really aren't that valuable. And what I noticed is like you can't buy Wolverines, Thor's, Loki's, Spider-Man's, I mean, even other things, Green Goblins, Mary Jane Watson, like there's all these different sets that I've been collecting for many, many years. The base raw cards, which there aren't that many out there, have just kind of dried up, and they've gone, like, I'm not saying, like, I paid $239 for this. I think most places that, let me see if I can get ComC up here. We'll see. I don't know why I don't just search for it on eBay, because it'll come through. I'm a pretty stupid guy. Let's see here. I don't want to do it like that. Let's go up here. Go up here. What is it? I don't even know what I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Well, I'm not supposed. The point being is that the price of these have gone way up. Let's see here. You can buy a set. Nah, you can't. I forget what. I can't even remember what her character name is, which is not going to help anybody here, right? Like, that is why I'm pretty stupid at sometimes. Choose your card. Here, we'll just click on this because this is probably who I bought it from. But they're not going to have all the cards, right? They don't have the drop down on this one. Oh, here it is. Oh, they're not going to tell me what it is. Peggy Carter. All right, I'm sorry for this, guys. I just literally get caught in a vortex. Oh, wait, I'd not even be able to spell either. But let's see, are there any up here? Before I go further. Yeah, like here. So is this the card I bought? I'm pretty sure this is the card I bought. I sure hope it is. That, $23.54. Now we'll go back over here. It is. And I bought it for $239. Just showing you ComC. ComC is not the only place you get it, but I believe when I bought this was the only one that was for sale on eBay. So you're talking about a card that's listed on ComC for $23. That might be very opportunistic, as somebody might just have the only one up there and is trying to get aggressive. That happens often. But again, if I can buy the card shipped for $2, I go after it. Here's another cool card that I bought recently. This was kind of just in the line of fitting with my kind of pop culture rookie cards. This is 1978 Superman movie, Christopher Reeve, PSA 8. Got it for $42 in the PSA vault, so you get no shipping there and no taxes. There are different cards in this set that you could call, but like this is the one that says Superman Christopher Reeve. That is why I went with this. There are, total pop is 68. There are 16 nines at only 110. So this is kind of it's not a mid-grade, but it's, it's upper middle class. And it was $42. Again, with the cost of PSA grading and time and energy. I have one or two of these raw, and I think that at best they would get 7s. So I just picked it up. It's something that I think I even relisted. I'm not, I probably shouldn't, but, I've kind of been in the habit of, especially if I get it from the vault, I just buy it, double my price, and relist it. So I bought, this was another, I'm cherry picking. I've been enjoying cherry picking. I've mentioned it a couple times. PSA has raised the prices of grading cards. They've also gotten more stringent on the grades they're giving. Now, that makes it less likely people are going to be grading, grading kind of cards that are on the edge of worth the value. So this is from the 1979 Rocky set, which I love to begin with. The number one card is considered the Rocky Rookie. I saw, there were a ton of, somebody had, I guess it was Steve Novella, had a ton of these cards up for sale. And I just put in, I used my Sniper software and I just put in figures that I was like, I'm cool if I got this. And yet again, combined shipping. I picked up 3 different ones. So this one here, all told, I think I averaged, I bought 3 slabs. They were all PSA 8s. And the cost average was like $9. And I'll probably list them all. Like this card, there are 6 9s and 1 10. There's also 5 7s. So it's like a solid right in the middle one. But to me, this is a beautiful image. I really like this image. And it's not a card that I mind having in my collection. And, or, again, selling. I'll show this one. One of them I didn't really like. This one I did like. This is, if you can see this is actually the press conference. You got Mickey here, Rocky, and Apollo, and $5.50. So I bought 3 different slabs, and my hope usually with something like this is buy 3, sell 1 or 2, and then it pays for the other ones. And you kind of just keep on doing that for a long time. Ahsoka Tano, open link, new window. This is something that I've been messing around more with. So Ahsoka Tano, her cards have just been like meandering, because she's not in the she's not in the zeitgeist right now. And this card, I like. It came from it was New York City Comic Con 2002. I think the New York Comic Con just happened right now for 2025, but pretty sure these were promo packs, or you could buy them or get them with something. And there were serial numbered cards inside, and I think they were out of 25, 50, and 100. But there are certainly base cards, and these base cards sell for about $10. This is the out of 25, graded for 920. Graded SGC 9.5, $35. Is that what I paid? $35. Yeah, so I paid $37 free shipping, so I only paid taxes. I mean, yet again, it's $20 to grade that card to ship it back and forth. The card itself is worth more than that. It is in her rookie year. It's also a classic star fossil. Just a lot of reasons why I like it. Again, goes into the collection, but also something I'm willing to trade or sell or whatever. Inkworks Family Guy. Again, in my process of researching some of the cards that I've collected through the years, Family Guy cards, these sets, when I first started buying them, were about $10 a piece, and they were plentiful. Now, let's see if we can do, I don't know if I open link in new tab. I don't know. Maybe they still have them. Oh, they do. Okay, so I guess they have more. So if you want to buy them, go ahead. I would recommend it. The issue there is that the shipping is a ton. So I think I contacted them and they combined the shipping theoretically. Probably not, because now I'm looking at what I paid. Like, I asked them to combine the shipping, and I don't think they did. I hate this seller, time to sell surplus. But in truth, it cost me $50 for 2 sets. The sets inside, there aren't very many sets for sale left in the United States. And they're mostly like $60, $70. So trying to get these sets is really hard. I have quite a few, but you have the Peter, and the Stewie, and PSA 10s command very strong premium. And then you have obviously all the other characters. I don't think I've even graded, like Brian or Meg or Chris, or Lois or Cleveland or Quagmire, but at some point I will. They don't command nearly the premium. That's why they're like probably a quarter of what the rest of them are, and in a PSA 9 you kind of break even. Okay, so obviously my Rogue One and Andor collection. So these two here, I have a friend of mine who's been selling off some of his consolidating his collection as well. And when he puts up stuff up for sale, I bid at it because either I'm going to make the market pay or I'm going to buy the card. This here is the Cassian Andor rookie. So the Cassian Andor rookie has, I don't know, quite a few parallels, but they from easiest to hardest is base, tan, black, green, blue, gray out of 100, gold out of 50, orange 101. So I have all of these in PSA grade, but so I guess it says there are 3 black 10s, and there are only 7 been graded. So obviously to get a PSA 10 of a Cassian is something that I want. Like I have, of the kind of non-numbered ones, I have the base in a 10, I have the black now in a 10, I have the blue now in a 10, I need to get the green in a 10, and then I will have all of them. Usually I'm not that kind of guy, but like I said, I've kind of doubled down on my Andor collecting. It's actually veered away from, we'll get into this in a minute, veered away from Rogue One, and more of like if there's overlap, like we'll see in this next card, then I'll do that. But kind of less Rogue One, more Andor. This one, I kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know if I think I listed this already, and I listed it too low. This is Saw Gerrera. This is the rarest non-numbered parallel blue Saw Gerrera. These are really hard. Like if you don't get this out of the pack and off the PSA, it's not going to get a 10. They just chip too easily. It's going to show the PSA data. So the only one graded and the only one that has a 10. I probably have some raw ones of these, but I look at it. I'm like, okay, $31. Like I said, $20, with shipping and everything, it costs you like $22 to get graded. And to know I'm getting a 10 all day. So Saw is one of my favorite characters. He is a kind of both things. So the next few, I'm not going to go open each card, but the 1977 tops, like I said, the availability of there are more collectors of 77 tops than there ever have been, Star Wars, and the availability of the cards is getting less and less, and the price keeps creeping up. So if I see a deal, I'll pick it up. It's kind of like, I feel, a very low risk move, meaning like I buy these cards, I think I can make a little bit. I can either keep them and over time they'll do well, or if I needed to sell these cards tomorrow, I think I would do fine. Not meaning like a lot of cards that I buy, if I were forced to auction tomorrow, I'd probably lose money. But if I post them and have a timeline of say 6 months to a year, I'll do really well. This is not, non-sports card is not the volume business, turn your inventory fast that say sports cards is. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So if you're trying to like grind up to buy bigger cards, or just pay for your own hobby, it sounds like I'm flipping everything. I've always been like somewhere in the middle. I love 77 Star Wars. Like this one here, which is the Han and Chewie Shoot It Out. I've wanted a copy in 8 or better for a while. $45 for a copy in 8 is a great price. But I have a 7.5 and other things. So I bought this for $45, which is the higher end. Any of these cards that you can get below $35, especially if it has a main character in it, Leia. This is a cool card, Desperate Moment for Ben at $35. This is where there's this one's a little less because this is where they're swinging across the chasm. So you can barely see Luke and Leia, but it is kind of all this stuff is iconic, right? So $32, just, and these were all PSA Vault, so no shipping. If I wait long enough, no tax, which I know that this sounds nitpicky. And if you're just collecting to collect, it's always nice to save money around the edges. But if you're ever like have any consideration of like, hey, at some point I want to move off these for a profit, which some of these I did buy to say, hey, like they're cheap, let them pay for other cards I want to buy. It adds up. I kind of did the math. I'll give you simple back of the napkin math, which is, let's say you want to make 30% off a card, which is, this one would be whatever. If it's a $100 card, you want to make 30%, you have to kind of mark it up 50% from what you paid for it. Between all the expenses you're going to incur, fees and paying it and stuff. And that's the final price that you pay. Not like this one's $32. I didn't pay shipping or taxes on it. Now, if you had shipping and taxes on this card, it would be $40. So I'll just use this for an example. So if I don't have to pay taxes and shipping, I could mark the card up to $48. If I paid taxes and shipping, I'd have to mark it up to $60 to make 30%. So that's why sometimes being careful about taxes and shipping allows you to price cards better. It allows you to sell them better. It allows you to buy them better. There's just a lot of things that, like, you know, it would have added up. Combined shipping and then using the PSA vault. This card particular here, the number 58 Harrison Ford, is just kind of going north. It just is. It's an iconic card. It's, you know, PSA 7s now are going for $100. It is neck and neck with the Darth Vader for the second most valuable card in the set, and it has not been for a long time. It never was. So I'll pick them up if I see them, even in kind of like, I got this one. It would probably grade out of 5, which is not going to do much, but whatever. I can always sell it, or I have 15 raw ones. All right. That's kind of like the I want to say the flipping. I hate using the term flipping. Collecting with the option to sell is probably the way I would describe most of the cards we have just seen me purchase, which is I've none of these do I really have a problem being in my collection. I just buy them at a good price that allows me to sell them. Now we're getting into cards where I did not buy them at all to sell. I bought them to collect. So I'm going to do a video about I did get involved in some breaks for Topps 2025 Chrome. I'm not going to go into it deep here. But what I went after were characters from Andor, and kind of debut characters that appeared in Andor season 1 or season, I think it was all season 1. I don't think there were any like new characters from season 2 included. So this is Dr. Gorst. I think there are like 5 or 6 of them, and I decided I kind of was like gonna get the lower numbered ones. Part of what I see from collecting Star Wars is that the better lower numbered cards from a set are available usually when the set comes out, and then they're gone. So that may not hold true going forward, but like, it is my opinion at present, Topps Chrome is the flagship of Star Wars. I wish they still made Finest, because it would be that to me. So like, to me, this is the card that I would want for my collection as the Dr. Gorst rookie. Some issues that I have with this, which is like, hey, it's out of 5. Okay, not really. There's the Auerbash out of 5, and then there might be like the Costco out of 5. So there are more out of 5s than there used to be. And the true out of 5 is actually the Frozen Fractor. But I just decided that was part of the reason I went after the 5s. Because in the past, I probably wouldn't have. I would have been comfortable with the out of 10s or the out of 25s. But now that they're making multiples of these, I felt like I had to go lower. So I bought this Dr. Gorst. It came from China, $58. About the price that I think I should have paid. Again, going into my collection, not really considering selling it. Here's a card. This is a funny card. Because I bought and sold this card already. This is a 22 Topps Chrome Star Wars Grief Cargo. So this is, I think, from Chrome Legacy. I still don't know. I can't tell if this is out of Chrome Legacy or this is out of, what you call it. We'll open it. We can do tab. Or if it's out of Beskar. It might be out of Beskar. Let's see. Well, let me see the back. Yeah, that's Beskar. So it's out of Beskar, which is a better set. I bought this. I bought it and I've sold it already. The reason I bought it was I own the black out of 10, and I wanted to sell the black out of 10. Just I'm putting a lot of my Mando cards up for sale because I bought a ton last year. I bought too many, and I yet again want to consolidate down to fewer cards. And I wanted to sell this black 10 out of 10, and I saw the price on this. It was listed at $35. I'm like, this is a red out of 30, out of 5. For point being, is crazy low. I was going to list my card for twice the price. And I was like, screw it. This was listed for 35. I offered them 25. They took it. They basically took grading fees on an out of 5 card. Bought it, posted it, sold it. The person who bought it was very happy with it. So now I can list my out of 10 for a reasonable price because I sold this. So, and then buying this and selling this actually paid for this card and the out of 10. And I think they're both PSA 9. So that was just a funny one of like, it was aggravating me that, why would somebody buy my out of 10 for twice the price of the out of 5? And there are a lot of reasons why cards don't sell. And almost always it's how people list the card. If I wanted to give tips one day, I would explain why I list cards the way I do and why I think like this card sat there for probably 6 months. And then I listed it and it sold in 2 days for twice the price. But that's a different topic for a different day. All right. So as you can see, I bought a lot of cards. This is just not like barely a month ago. I bought one card on eBay from like mid-May to like mid-August. So like in 3 months. So what we've looked at is just a month. Wilmon Pock. So Wilmon was one of the one of the Andor rookies that was in Chrome. And he was actually the one I focused on the most because Wilmon has the biggest part. If you've seen Andor, in season 1, he is the one who throws the bomb at the end of the Rick's Road episode. His father died. There's other things, but he has a much bigger part. He's a real character. Whereas most of the other characters that they've done are just like, tertiary characters. Like you wouldn't know their name. Dr. Gorston maybe. There's another secondary character you'll see in a minute. But he's probably the biggest character. He's the one I went after. By the way, still haven't gotten his out of 5 or out of 10 because I don't know. I bid on one, but you'll see a little reason why in a few seconds. This was a Book of Boba Fett Mandalorian on the Hunt. No idea why I bought this. I Book of Boba Fett cards, like I think Book of Boba Fett slept on. It was $3 shipped. I think this is the scene when he's with the Clitonians and he shows up. I have a Clitonian 101. I think that's why I talked myself into buying it. So here's the other bigger character from Andor, which is Edie Karn, Cyril's mother. Again, she's a real character. I think Wilmon's actually turned into a much bigger character. Edie kind of sticks out because of what her role is in the nagging Jewish mother type. I'm Jewish. I don't know if I'm stereotyping, but that is what she comes across as. Be it the immigrant mother, the Jewish mother, whatever you want to call it. But she's fantastic in it. I liked hers. It's another one that I tried to chase, but frickin' Rampage Dave, who is actually somebody who bought a couple of my cards, and I sent a message to, very nice guy. He was buying them all. And so I had to figure out how to buy them on here. Okay, so the other thing that I've been messing around with is like, because now we're years away from the original Andor series, is deciding what the Andor rookie cards are. And I had personally decided that, to me, the Andor rookie cards were 2023 Finest. I love Finest. I like the card. It had pretty much all the major characters. But as it turns out, when you get to see Season 2, there are characters who got bigger and played bigger roles that their rookies actually appeared in Flagship. And I think that Flagship is, this is, I'm actually going to write this down, is one of the things that, like, if you want to rip Star Wars these days, like rip a box, it's one of the most affordable things. Like, still can get them for $90, $100, and the cards have value. So it sent me on a tangent of, hey, there are a bunch of characters that you can't necessarily get in other sets like Finest, which is what I have. I collected Finest. I think there are 12 Andor characters. I have them all in gold. I think I have most of them out of 50, and I have most of them in orange out of 25. Again, in that one, if you have gold, there's only gold. There's not 3 types of gold. So it's kind of a good, a nice place to be. Okay, so somehow when researching flagship, I'm going to open this because this card, I really like this card. So you know the deal. You're researching, you're trying to find cards from for one set, and then you come across other ones. Now, I mentioned New York Comic Con 2022. You saw that Star Files, what's her face? Ahsoka Tano. This is a 2023 New York Comic Con exclusive Grogu out of 50. Grogu, again, hard cards to find. Talked about earlier about, not a lot, early on there weren't a lot of cards with it. So this would be from flagship, but this is a speckle gold. It's a lot nicer. It looks kind of more like the hyperspace that are the the 101s. And I bought it at auction for $26. It's something I might grade. I think I might even have listed, but I'm happy to have it in my collection. Again, it's in the with option to sell type category. So it's just a really cool looking card. Do I need it? Absolutely not. But at that price, I thought it was a deal. And again, I keep saying this, is that there are certain sets that have parallels where there really aren't that many parallels. Like this is out of 50, out of 25, and out of 1, I believe. So like there aren't a million serial numbered cards. You don't have out of 50, out of 25, out of 15, out of 10, out of 5, out of -5, out of 1. So like it is meaningful, and it's a nice looking card. So that was my reasoning here, and that's why I bought it. But I think it's cool. So Edie Karn, I just kept buying stuff here. This is the out of 25. I definitely, you're gonna see I overpaid, right? That like the price of the Chrome stuff came down. Just talked about it. There are a lot of different parallels. Okay, here's another card I didn't need. So here's Brasso, who is a big part of season 1, not a big part of season 2. Out of 5, it was, $20, $25 ship. I just couldn't help myself. I don't know what to say, but I really like this image. There are other images of him with the brick from Ferrix Road. And the other ones he uses it as a weapon. I kind of like the Calm Brasso here. But, cool, it's in my collection. Here's another. Like, I was bidding on all these Edie numbered cards because at first I couldn't get any of them. I ended up getting a few at like $2 a piece. All right, so here's something else I bought. And I can discuss, I'll briefly mention another card. How far away is this? 37 minutes. Going to be a longer one, folks. I hope you're enjoying this. I could break it up into multiple things, but let's just say this one's for Peter. Because this is a card I bought from Peter. Peter is a friend I've made in the hobby who's just the nicest guy. And he's decided to consolidate his collection. So he put some of his more rare Rogue One cards up for sale. And this is the gray Jyn Erso mission briefing. So you have the regular set, which was regular Rogue One, then you have Rogue One mission briefing. But in Rogue One mission briefing, there are only, I think, 9 or 10, I think 10 cards that relate to Rogue One. The rest of it is the rest of Star Wars up to that point. Kind of a, they did it later more of like a journey too. And there are also serial numbered cards. And this is a Jyn out of 100. You can see it up here, number 5 out of 100. I've never seen one for sale. I don't even know what Peter's putting here. This is just the authenticity code or authentication code. I've never seen one for sale. And this is graded at a 9.5, 120, 50 all day, right? Like I said earlier, I'm not really like, this is something. Now, Peter, close your ears. This is something I'd consider selling. Just because I'm off Team Jyn. I love Rogue One, but like it's just something that happened to me. There recently was a Rogue One gold Jyn up for sale that I would have snap bought a while ago, and and I thought it went for a good price. Went for $700. I thought that was a fair, even low price. It was hard to tell if it were graded. It probably would have went for more. But yeah, these are really hard to find. I've never seen one for sale, but I mean I'm not gonna this is definitely option. In my collection, option to sell at a much higher price. Like this is not something I would. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a cool card. I own some of the gold from the set, but not the two big characters, which are obviously Chin and Cassian. I have never seen the gold ones. I've never even seen them. I think Peter actually has. He has at least one. He might have both. Um, and I found a Cassian Gray. I just randomly one night, one guy put it on the internet, and like I remember, he put it up for. I forget what he put it up for. I think he might have had it up for auction and best offer or something. I forget. And I offered like $100, and I was like, why did I offer $100? Somebody's gonna buy it before, and I couldn't make another offer because I'd already made an offer. And then I woke up and he sold to me for $100, and I was super excited because, again, I've never seen one before. Maybe they'll come out of the woodwork. There are 100 of them, but that's not that many. I will say earlier, I was talking about ripping. If you want to rip Star Wars, Mission Briefing, even the fat packs, you can get serial numbered cards and autographs. It's probably like highest ceiling for your dollar that you can rip. I'm gonna do a little video on it because there's like three or four that I would say, considering that they want three, somewhere between $250 to $400 for a current box. There's old stuff that you can buy that like they don't have they have 101s. They don't necessarily have super fractors in there, but they're stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that. All right, here I bought a red Edie Karn, and I paid $100. And you hear my voice. I hate it when I'm not the person who paid the absolute least for a card. I wanted this one. This is the Arabesh. I don't really care about Arabesh. Actually, if I'm being honest, I prefer the non-Arabesh. I want to be able to look at the card and know the character. It is the Omega 5 out of 5. How this came to be was simply, when they first came out, this is early on, a little early on. The first Edie Karn Red to go for sale was listed like $235, and I offered $100. The guy wanted $175. I offered $135. He said no. I saw this come up for auction, and I just offered. I put my snipe in it $135, and I was like, I'll buy this one. And then since then, I think one sold for like $60. In truth, that's what happens initially. I don't know if you could buy one now. I do think more actions. No, I view similar items. Open link in new tab. We'll see. Because the person who was selling, yeah, this is the one that I was bidding on originally. It's like now they're auctioning it at $100 and asking $199. And here's one that's just $100 best offer. So yeah, I definitely overpaid. Sometimes it happens. I don't think it's the end of the world, but those are not Arabesh. They're not the Omegas. And if that means something to somebody, let me know. I would be happy to sell that and go buy one of the other ones, but that's just me. But yeah, more into the Andor collection. Major Partagas, Antoine Lester. So these flagship cards, I don't really know what to say about the flagship Andor cards. I can't. I think I've done this before on an episode where I've said, "Hey, sometimes you're wrong." Like when these came out, my buddy Sam's was like, "Hey, this is the Andor set," and I'm like, "No, it's not. Like this is like the trash set." He's like, "No, these are they're gonna make these every year." Didn't turn out that they made these every year, but this is the set that has kind of all the secondary characters. And this is Major Partagas, who's another, side character who definitely plays a role in this. They didn't make him again in 2023. Made him in 2024. So it's kind of hard to argue that, the 2024 Chrome is his debut. It's not. So have to go back and buy this. I bought this from Canada. So this is out of 75. Is this? I don't even know. We'll see if we can see here. I hope you guys enjoy this. I like to do this often because it allows me to go back and and measure whether I should have bought something or not. These cards are super hard to find. That's what I'll tell you right now. It's like that's where I got into. It's like I mentioned this before. Ripping these, they're really hard to find. Good, there are no Partagas. Maybe there are but this is out of 75. There are a lot of parallels in this set. Okay, so you've got a $4.99, at a $2.99, at a $1.99, at a 99, at a 75, at a 50, at a 25, out of 10, and then 101. And you would think, with there being out of $1.99, $2.99, and $4.99, there'd be tons of cards for sale. Go try to buy a Clea. I'm not even participating in that market. Clea, her only card is in this set. I think there's an out of four, like the out of 4.99s are selling for $50. I think that's a little crazy, but again, if you want to open a box, you get a low number Clea, you get a lot of money for it. So I did. There's another area where I kind of overpaid for stuff. I just had sold some cards and made up my mind that okay, let's just finish this collection. By chance, I had purchased some of these before. Like I've always liked Nemec. I love the Nemec Manifesto. So I bought Nemec early. I think I bought a Cassian. I might have bought a Bix. But I went through here, and I have decided Dedramiro is my favorite character to come out of Andor. I think she's the best villain that Star Wars has produced since Darth Vader. That is, I don't know who the argument is for second place. It's like the Emperor. I think the Emperor's always sucked. Yeah, I don't think there are any. Maybe the way they took Maul in Clone Wars, maybe. Rebels doesn't really have any. Thrawn. Okay, Thrawn. Thrawn would be. I forgot about Thrawn. But that's where I put her in the pantheon of Thrawn in Rebels and Clone Wars. Was Thrawn in Clone Wars? I don't think he. All right, I get the last few seasons of Clone Wars and Rebels. I get mixed up. But anyway, Dedramiro is my favorite villain since Darth Vader. I think she is amazingly evil and complicated, and the same type of thing where it's like, you feel like there's good in her. Like she's doing this because she thinks the rebels are evil, and I think as time goes on, she then questions it a little bit. Like the same thing, certainly for Partagas. If you haven't watched Andor Season 2, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but go ahead and watch it. Perrin Fartha. That's Mon Mothma's husband. I bought his 2023 Finest, or 2024, I don't know, 2024 Chrome. He's not in Finest. This is his first card. I'm paying $5 for out of $4.99. I feel stupid. Taramin Barcona, who's in, I think, 1 or 2 episodes. Okay, here's another Andor character that was in Andor Season 1 out of 5. Burnock. I can tell you that, these cards existing made me enjoy the show more, because I'm like, who the hell's Burnock? If you watch the show, Burnock, it's basically 3 guys who really plan the escape off of Narkina 5. In my favorite episode, which is episode 10, One Way Out. It's Cassian, Melshi, who is one of the few characters to appear in Rogue One and Andor Season 1, Season 2. And Burnock. Burnock is the third one, and Burnock, I believe, dies during the attempt. So, again, that is my favorite episode of Andor, One Way Out, and that's why I'm partial to Kino Loy as well. But so cool. $50 for an out of 5 just is what it is. I think that might have been an auction. I don't remember. Okay, so here I bought this Dedramiro Black. Now I'll talk about this for a second. So listen, Topps Fanatics really kind of sucks. Okay, they suck for so many reasons, but one of the main reasons is when it comes to autographs, they don't tell you who has what parallel. Meaning Luke Skywalker. You know, there's a base auto, a 199, 99, 75, 50, 25, 20, 10, and Luke Skywalker only has the at 101, the out of 10. You know, and they don't tell you. And in this instance, actually was fun and beneficial to me because this is Denise Go's, Dedra Miro's rookie auto. This is her first auto, or the first set she had an auto in. I'm pretty sure she might have, but like to me, this is her rookie auto, and it only came to 10. Right, there might be a 5, a 5, and a 1, a 1, but I've not found any out of 25s, or certainly any higher. So to get her auto, you had to get a black one, and I may at some point be proven wrong, but I certainly don't think there are base because they would be for sale, and I couldn't find any sales. In the years forward, there are tons of these. You want to get one of her autos now, you can get an on-card masterwork auto super cheap. But to get her rookie auto, it's like this was it, an out of 10. And I happen to have Velsartha's and Brasso's black from this set, so they're rookie autos. So getting my favorite character, and it had been sitting up there for 175. I think I offered 90, and they took it. So it's just one of those. That's in the Andor collection. This is all the Andor collection. Here's a Bix clean. Bix is like, I have a couple decent Bix cards, but like Bix kind of upsets me because I didn't think she was going to have as big a role as she did in season 2. There are some big Bix cards I had a chance to get that I passed on because it's just like people are paying crazy. I even sold some Bix cards. Here's another Anton Lester. I bought this when I first decided to do this. Okay, I was like, I just want to get the cards. I just want to fill out my set. I wasn't going to make a all orange, all red. I was just like, give me one of each and I'll just be done with this. And then as it went on, I was like, maybe I'll try to buy, like, instead of buying the lesser numbered ones, I'll try to buy some of the better cards. Truth is, there aren't the better cards out there. There really aren't. That's why I ended up buying that out of 75 Anton Lester, which cost me $30. It was graded, and it was number 1 out of 75. Another thing is these don't grade well, by the way. But I paid $8 for this. B2 Emo, another character that I just love. I'm not going to spoil Andor season 2, but like they did B2 Emo dirty. I didn't have a B2 Emo. I got the black. By the way, as the parallels go, it's just such a weird thing, and I kind of like I don't collect Galaxy, but like I kind of understand a little bit more. People would be like, yeah, nobody wants the out of 75s; they want the out of 100s, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense to me. Those are not as rare. It's like certain parallels look better. This set, they just screwed the pooch on the how the parallels look, because my favorite parallel is actually the out of 199, the red kind of foil. The foil sparkly ones are actually the 499, 299, and 199. You get to 99, what is 99? 99 is purple. It's like a flat purple, which is okay. Black is probably one of the nicer ones, which is out of 75. 50 is blue, which is also kind of good. But then you have green at 25, which is just hideous. It's like the flat green. Like, it just doesn't, like, the visual appeal of the cards does not match up with the serial number. I don't know how that affects the value long term. So that's just a thought. What do we buy here? Okay, so Cyril Karn. I paid up on this. Cyril is up there with me. These don't grade one. This is the out of 50. I say I paid up for $37.32, taxes and shipping. Again, grading costs on these cards take up most of it, so it's like, fine, I'll just have a graded version of it. But I couldn't find a better one. Like, I couldn't find a lower numbered Cyril card. Here is Lieutenant Gorn. There's another character I was just like, fine, just fill it in. Here is Leda, which is Mon Mothma's daughter. I bought a blue, $27. And these aren't, I'm telling you, I'm pretty much buying what you would assume is the best deal at the time. And I will also say that I went and bought a bunch of these. I know somebody else who collects these. they saw that I was buying these, and then they bought everything else. So there really isn't anything out there, not on ComC, not anywhere. I do think that there are a bunch of people who have these cards because the boxes were affordable when they came out. They were like 50, 60 bucks. I think a bunch of people have the $4.99s and $2.99 and $1.99 are like, these cards are worthless. And at some point, they'll realize they have worth and they'll come on the market. And I think more it is. But they're just like, this set is not large. There's only, I think, 100 cards in the set. Maybe not even. And a lot of them are Andor. So, like, interesting. So earlier I went through the Grogu that I had bought from the New York Comic Con. This was kind of how I ended up with it because I bought this B2 Emo out of 50s, but like again, 16 bucks shit. Couldn't say no. Love my B2 Emo, and to get kind of a low numbered oddball, like just I like the way these gold sparkles look. Just yeah. So my collection of Andor flagship is, I believe, is entirely complete. I might not have Vetch. No, I think I did. I bought Vetch. Vetch is just a terrible character that they did not need to include. He's like in one scene as like a bodyguard. It's the worst character. I need a Clea, but a friend of mine is going to send me a Clea. I think a numbered one. I don't know out of whatever, but I'll have a full numbered set. So, what kind of started this is like, this is why I hate, another reason I hate Topps is that like they couldn't just say this set is going to be the end. Number one, I wanted an Andor set that came from a box that said Andor. That's what I wanted. That's what Topps had done for 45 years. Every movie and TV show, they had done that. The only TV show that they had not done that with was Bad Batch. That was the first time. But this is the first time that they had a live action show that they did not make a show or movie where they did not make a set that came, a box of cards that had the name of the show or the movie on it. And it pisses me off. To this day, it pisses me off. And I know why they did it. It's because breakers have a hard time with this because the autograph checklists aren't large enough. They don't have enough big enough chases. And that's why I did it. It's just a purely money thing for breakers. That's what it is. It says nothing to do with collectors. It has nothing. People are like, oh, Obi-Wan was bad and nobody bought it. No, it has to do with the fact that breaking. If you look at Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, those things are actually going up now to like they had dropped to where you should have bought them and kind of put them away. But why do I set this up? Because Luthen Rael, which Stellan Skarsgård, great character in Andor, obviously huge part of season 1 and season 2. His first card is in Topps 2023 Chrome, which was the first set to come out that year. But he's like, there were 3. It's just kind of just ass backwards. It just is. It's just ass backwards. Why you would? He's the only character that had never appeared before. I think in this set they do talk about Cassian in Andor, but like it's. That's a weird Cassian thing. Like, what's the first Andor Cassian versus Rogue One? But that's stupid. Like, because of the way Topps thing. So, I wanted some of these Luthen Rail Chrome cards, so I bought this one. They're hard to find, too. I think green is out of 99 or something along those lines. I'll skip back, but here, I bought the blue out of 150. Oh, I guess I got it. Oh, I remember. I thought I was buying this. I thought this was the Chrome. I already have these... finest, so I asked the person, I was like, hey, I bought the wrong card, and they were nice enough to cancel the order, which I think was no. Here's a card. You want to talk about a card, like, I don't know if you ever watched this show. I absolutely love this adult animation show called the Boondocks. It was a commentary on the world in the late aughts, early 10s. Huey and Riley Freeman living with their grandfather in, I forget the name of the town, but it had a million cameos from voices. It's absolutely hysterical. And they never made cards, except for they made some promo cards for the 2007 Comic Con. And they're lenticular. And there's like, I think there's a Huey and a Riley, and I have both of them. These are just like, they're really my collection. Like, I have no idea. Like, these are one of these things that, like, they'll either be worth nothing or $1 billion, right? Like, because there aren't very many of them out there. You should, if you like the show, you should go buy them because they're still out there, like $15 a piece ish. But they're like, 2 or 3 out there. And I'm not trying to corner the market on those, but I love the show and the fact that they're just cards. That's used to be my favorite thing when people would be like, "Oh, there are cards for that." About the specific shows. Wow, we're over an hour. All right, well, it's been a long. I haven't done one of these in a long, long time. We're almost done because you're gonna see. Look at all the cards I bought, and this goes back to like somewhere. This is August 28th, so it's like 6 weeks ago. Here's another Jin. It says this is my buddy Peter. He was running another auction, and I just bought this, sold this. Jin Urso Mission Briefing PSA 10. Just again in my Jin stuff. I need to try to sell this blue one too because I'm just out of the Jin business. This is a Chrome Legacy Rainbow partial. I guess 25, 50, and 99. Again, I was bidding to help my buddy out. I was like, hey, this is a price at which I'm not going to be unhappy buying it, and I hope people bid more, right? Like, I don't really want the cards, but like at that price I wasn't going to say no. It was 4 cards, $16, and I bought this Jin blue. Blue is the rarest parallel again in here. I think this is a pop one. Jin blue under the cross of grading fees. I mean, I like when it comes to the Rogue One Mission Briefing or regular ones, I have all the cards raw. I have most of them. I have 3 to 12 of them. Like, this one I don't even know though, because like I didn't really collect Mission Briefing parallels of Jin, but I might. But I bought it, and so this was this was my buddy Peter was like, hey, this is up for auction, and gosh, yeah. I'm not going to go into too much detail. This was up for auction, and this was a couple of sets of, it was like, you can see Rogue One Mission Briefing lot, and I was the only bidder at $75, and it was a lot in shipping. This was a New York Comic Con set right here from 2016. Mission Briefing, all the actual cards are horizontal. These are vertical, and this Cassian here is very rare. I've seen over the last year or so a couple of them sell, but not really. Like over the last 3 years, I've probably seen 4 sell, and then you got the whole set of these. When people mislabel them, I've seen a couple of these sets sell mislabeled for $30. When they're properly labeled, they go for more than this. Now this is the Mission Briefing set. So Mission Briefing was Tops Now, which I'm not a Tops Now guy. That's a Tops Now Andor is a different discussion for a different day. But I believe it was 5 different sets of 6 cards. And every Monday for 5 weeks, it might have been, I might be getting my numbers wrong, but it was like somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks where every Monday there was a new set and you had to go buy them. And this was at a time in 2016 when nobody was really buying them. And I think the maximum print run on any of these is like 280 and the minimum is around 225. And they're really hard to find. There are a couple for sale here or there, not the whole run of 30. Usually if you want to buy one of the, I think might just be, I really am, I'm really escaping me whether it's 4 or whatever. But like the Jin's like a $50 to $100 card. And the Cassian is, I'd never seen one other than, somebody had the whole set for sale. I do think I saw the whole set for sale for like $400 at one point. They're not anymore. This is the Jin from that Comic-Con set as well. And then there were just like sets of Mission Briefing in here. I was saying before, I was like, I don't even know what I had. Some of them were complete sets. They had some of the inserts, these Rebellion. Like, I just got all this shit that I didn't even really want. Because I just wanted this set and the Mission Briefing set, which were worth reasonably at least double what I paid. Like I said, you could steal a Comic-Con set for $25, maybe. I mean, there were like people just labeled these just like this mission briefing. They didn't say that these were like promo sets, and when you do, then they sell for like $30. But if you label them properly, they are closer to 100. And mission briefing, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I've seen the for whatever the minimum card set is sell for around 100, but like the Jin, there's a Darth Vader in here, K2SO, Krennic. I mean, there's like everybody in there. Mon Mothma. They're just, it's an expensive set, and it was a great deal for me. And I don't know. I'm not a set collector. For the most part, there's some things in here I'm talking about. Like I collected all the Andor cards in there. I actually usually choose not to do that. And as I mentioned throughout this, is like I don't feel as much of a Rogue One collector these days as I am an Andor collector, which is kind of fun and good. Like that's what got me back into buying, but it also means there's some Rogue One stuff that doesn't mean as much to me, and that I'll probably move off it. So what does that mean in this situation? Is I don't know. Am I going to grade and sell some of these? Maybe. I actually think of all the cards in here, the one that I like, I'm not, you know what? Not going to say what it is. Not going to say what it is. There's a reason I'm not saying which card in here I like so much, other than the Cassian. Is because I might have a line on buying one. That's why. But yeah, awesome buy. And, that really got me into it. So I bought this Jon Snow here. Again, now you go look at it. Look at the time frames. Okay, so this is August 2nd. What was the time before that? There are huge leaps here, so it's not showing the actual date. August 24th. So you're seeing like, okay, now I had gone 3 weeks since I'd bought anything. Now we're going into July. This is a Jon Snow Season 4 gold card. Game of Thrones has really cooled off, unfortunately. I like Game of Thrones, and the Jon Snow. There really aren't a lot of serial number cards. They didn't even start doing serial number cards till season 3, so this is kind of a second year of serial number cards. Bought it for $6 shipped. Bought it from a friend of mine, and I was bidding, hoping that somebody would pay a big price for it, and I just had a bid in there so that nobody could. If somebody was going to steal it, and I feel this way about my own cards, if somebody's going to steal it, let it be a friend. So I bought that from him. This is a card I bought that I think I put up for sale. So Rogue One, they made, I don't even know what they came in or what they made. They made these kind of like postcard size cards that they numbered out of 49. And I bought this one. A friend of mine said, hey, this is up for sale. I have the 101 of this. And the funny part is that my buddy actually sent me this. He's like, if you have the 101, you should have this also. It's like the super rainbow. And even though I think there might be a one of these. So he said, this was up for sale. Open link in new tab. Oh, you can't even see it because over 3 months, you can't even see the original listing. It's one of them. It's Jin and Cassian climb. There's a climb motif throughout Andor and Rogue One. But you can see the dates, right? So like, you saw all those cards I was buying, and we're going back to like August 28th. And now this is August 2nd, July 21st, July 12th. Now we're into June. Okay. And I don't even know if we're going to be able to see this. This was something that I was talking to a guy in Australia about for a while. And these are 2008 Solo Story. These are all Han Solo cards. They're all gold out of 10. And, 175. I just looked. The freaking, the hobby boxes of this stuff is now $150, which is, I mentioned earlier about things that you can rip that are cheap. Do not seek the treasure. Do not buy this. Do not buy hobby boxes of this stuff. I mean, yes, there are one-on-ones, but like the odds are very bad, and it is the bar none the worst autos of any Star Wars set ever. The worst. If you want to have fun, go look up the auto checklist of 2018 Solo Story. The autos are absolutely. There's nobody. There's not like no. I don't think. maybe Dryden Voss, like maybe. I think he might because I think the 101 Dryden Voss was up for sale recently. I think it's sold for $200. So like the best auto 101 barely sold for more than the box. Anyway, I bought 4 golds out of 10. I thought it was a good deal. I think this movie is underappreciated. Um, we'll see in the future, but like I mentioned earlier, like this this is probably something I would not buy today. But I'm grading some of these. They're all gonna go up for sale. It's just like I'll probably end up keeping one. Um, it's just again, it's a time where I was really struggling to find things to buy, and I was like, this is a good deal. Um, and I bought it. Here, I bought something for my car here. That's how bad it got. So now we're all the way back. Again, we saw how many cards I bought. We're at the end of July, which is or August, 6 weeks ago. Now you go all the way back down here. This is June 2nd. On May 25th, I made the order. And this is. Get a new tab. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're at a point where they're not even going to show them. All right. So, Mandalorian, Season 1, Hoping to Help Bronze, number 14. So, number 14 is the actual first appearance in the set of Grogu. So, you have the character card Grogu rookies, which are just good luck finding those. The character cards, I've seen 2 for sale ever, and I bought both of them. Um, so good luck. And then this is the other kind of, there are kind of 2 cards in this set that have a high value, which is number 1, Enter the Hunter, and number 14. I mean, a lot of them do, but like the kind of like when you're talking about like where the, the high point is Enter the Hunter on 1 for Mando, which is the very first of the cards, the first shot from the Mandalorian. That's the first card in the set, and then you have this number 14, Hoping to Help. So I bought the bronze. I paid a lot of money. I paid $88 for a bronze. But, part of this is like, try buying a blaster of this stuff now, or hobby box. So the hobby boxes I think are entirely gone, and the blaster boxes are about $100. So like, I definitely use a lot of rationale to buy cards, but one of them being, hey, if I would buy a box and I'd be super happy to get this card out of it, why don't you just buy the card? Yeah, we'll go back, a little bit further. This is, these cards, Rogue One gold cards have just taken off. It just needed a little bit of people actually being willing to sell the cards. A couple Cassians sold for a lot of money. A Jin just sold for a lot of money. My buddy Peter sold a bunch of cards, $400 or $500. And this is season 2, series 2, not season 2. Gold Jin, $20. Like, again, I think that is at PSA or whatever. But like, yeah, if you're a Jin collector, I'm probably a seller. And you can see here's Nemec. I'm not gonna go too much further. I might have done this back in the day. Like this Nemec that I bought for $7 now would be. That's how the market is. Now would be $40. I guess Andor season. This is before Andor season 2 or right around it. This was me completing both of these cards was completing my serial numbered character set of Mandalorian season 1. I did end up getting this card. I think so you can see now, like, we're just talking about like just me not buying cards. May 10, May 12, and then like buying 1 card in 2 months. You can go back. This is a card that I'm probably going to sell here. I'm only going to show these just because this is the Darth Vader Aftermath. This is one of the nice, visually probably, it's up there top 5, probably top 3 images from Rogue One sets. It's only in Series 2. Vader action scene cards only appear in Series 2. This is the very end where he's standing looking at Princess Leia's ship. Just my favorite image from, I think it's what really makes that movie. Movie's great, but the way you end, it matters so much. We talked a lot about mission briefing here. This is like the Baze Malbus mission briefing gold. Again, they're very hard to find. Here's some other Grogu stuff. I'll just whip through. Here's my I bought an Enter Hunter. I probably did these long ago. This was definitely during my Mandalorian phase. Look, I bought and then now we're like at the beginning of the year. So it's like I have this huge gap. I was buying stuff at the beginning of the year and then I wasn't. All this stuff is just gone. Well, that was a fun trip down memory lane for an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know, man. I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. I've been meaning to do this one for a while. I'm kind of between projects at work, so I'm going to be doing more videos. Going to be listing more stuff on eBay, and might even have some cool ideas for some streams that I may do. Mystery Whatnot Theater is the main one that I really want to do. Mystery Whatnot Theater is where me and maybe me and one of my friends, if you ever saw Mystery Science Theater, it's where like they watch a old science fiction movie. It's like a guy and robots and they make fun of it. But like I watch Whatnot and like I can't help but laugh or like add up all the shit that they're selling and being like, they just, those teams in that box were just $1,100, and that box is a $300 box, and they're probably going to pull $100 worth of cards out of there. So we just had a 90% capital destruction or something along those lines of collectors. So, or just like, I don't know, just Mystery Science Theater. So yeah, check out the website. I'll be adding more blogs and stuff every day. Yeah, I hope you like the stuff. I going back through all the, everything I bought, what I would tell you is, boy, I think I might have overpaid for those Andor red cards. I have an addiction to certain cards like these here. But for the most, like, if I had to grade my buying over the last, I'll only look at it over the last 2 months. It's like, started off bad, and then it went good. I think there are a lot of good buys in here, and then there are like, I think I got a little, I'm stumbling over my words. I see how, like, I think my brain has, works differently than others people's. Has, we're all unique. But like when my collector brain takes over and I want a card, I just pay whatever pay whatever it costs. That is not usually what I do. What I usually do is be very analytical about what a card costs. But I kind of got there. My brain doesn't get there that often, but it got there on Andor stuff, and I overspent. And I don't know if I'd ever get the money out of that, but I certainly make up for it in other places. But so be it. That's just the way it works. Well, that's going to do it for me. I'm Not Sports Cards. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will talk to you soon.